Hello, this is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness, and I want to welcome you to today's episode. I am a speaker, author, seminar leader, mastermind leader, and on this show I talk about how to expand your world of thought, expand the world of positive thinking, Bible-based law of attraction, and consciousness from many points of view. It is my intention to share with you information that will enlighten, empower you, challenge you into expanding your world and learning about things you may never have even thought about or even considered, premises and thoughts that might even go against the grain. Because I truly believe that you have been given the power of the word and thought to create the life you desire. So many times people, they get into programs, and they take one program after the next program after the next program. I've taken lots of different programs, and I'm one for getting books and reading a lot of books. But the thing is, most of the time, and leaders will tell you this, maybe not in the middle of the class, but they'll talk about this. And that's the fact that people will continue to take training. However, they never implement what they learn. They never, not even a little bit. They may take one or two things and go, oh, that didn't work. They use it for a week, a day. They try something and it didn't work right away. Why they talk about our culture being instant gratification culture, because we expect things to happen forthwith, right? Well, you think about years and years and years ago, and Moses working and getting the Israelites out of Egypt. That's in, the scriptures. And in Exodus, it begins the story. And, when I had the opportunity to look at the map of the region, and they talked about where they were wandering around in the wilderness for 40 years, it says. And that during this time, they were given food to eat because they were in a desert. There was no growing food. They weren't staying in one place, so they couldn't cultivate any area. And so this manna from heaven was given to them. And they had to eat it all that day or cook it all that day, because the next morning it was either gone or it was rotten. Now, initially, it's like most people, probably in the beginning, people were trying to hoard it, gathering up as much as they can. And they tried to hoard it and put it away, and then they went to get it the next day, and it was or later, and it was bad. It was rotten. It smelled yeah, no good, or it dissolved. I don't know what it did, but it was gone. So if you think of in that space, if you just trusted that every morning this manna would be there for you, you would not be nervous. You would not be afraid. You would just know. Just like, going to hit the switch for me to turn on my lights. I know that my lights are turning on. And if the lights go out because of some outage, electrical outage, then I know eventually they'll get that fixed and I'll have it back on. Now, if I haven't paid my bill, that's a totally different story, right? So we have to look at it and say, Let's pay attention here. And why am I talking about Exodus and manna from heaven and all of that kind of stuff? Well, it's kind of related, but I wanted to talk about that because I want you to think about trusting that what you ask for will be given to you, trusting that you will have what you desire when you believe in the God given capabilities within you, that piece of God that is in you, infinite intelligence, universal mind, the universe. What is it that you believe? Or do you believe that, oh, that stuff is all full of nonsense and, I've never had anything show up? So if you listen to the previous Manifesting Neville episode 2, I talked about the Creator. And the Creator, in this instance, being your wonderful, magnificent human imagination. Because the Creator of humans and animals in the world had to have a really great imagination, and that Creator gave us the capability of thinking and reasoning, even though some people seem to have given away their reasoning and their way of analyzing facts, events. Because we do that. I did that with my mother. She took care of my life for many, many years, even after I was grown for a while. I abdicated my responsibility to her. So have you abdicated your responsibility about the way you think and feel and how you manage the things that you desire? Did you abdicate that? In Exodus, the third chapter, verses 13 through 15, I wanted to read this to you today because this is the essence of what I'm talking about. So if you're looking for your Bible, hopefully you'll go get it, or you can pick it up on your phone or whatever, or find it later. Exodus 3:13 through 15. When Moses said to God, "Indeed, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you,' and they say to me, 'What is his name?' What shall I say to them?" And God said to Moses, "I am who I am." And he said, "Thus you shall say to the children of Israel, 'I am has sent me to you.'" Moreover, God said to Moses, "Thus you shall say to the children of Israel, 'The Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has sent me to you.' This is my name forever, and this is my memorial to all generations." So God said to Moses, "I am who I am." No name. No thing. I am. And so when I start this episode, or every episode really, I say, "I am Beverly Fells Jones, the silver fox of consciousness." Every time you use the word "I am," you are saying that you are God, that you have, because the Creator has given us capabilities that we haven't been using. God spoke in the scriptures, "I am." And so whenever you say "I am," I am a mother. I am a grandmother. No, I'm a Mimi. I am a teacher. I am a hypnotist. You say I am a cook. I'm a dancer. I'm an actor. I am. He said, I am who I am. You are who you are. And if you are assuming that you are other than who you say you are, who is imagining? I mean, you say, I am. And he says, this is God's name. He asks, what is his name? What shall I say? I am. And at the very moment that you speak God's name, all things are possible. You know, you don't need the consent of somebody outside of you. And in order to move from the state that you are in to a new state, and I talked about this in the last episode, going from being in one location and wanting to be another, and mentally, emotionally, you are in that new state. So we talked a little bit, or I talked a little bit about sitting in Los Angeles and wanting to be in San Francisco, and sitting there or laying down to sleep and pretending that you're asleep in San Francisco, even though when you got in the bed you were in Los Angeles. But as you're thinking as Los Angeles being in a different place. So if you are ill, if you are sick, if you are not well and you want to be well, you must begin to think of yourself as being healthy, knowing you are healthy. And what does it feel like when you're healthy? What does it feel like when you are being upbeat and pleasant and happy and invigorated? What does that feel like? And move yourself from that state into the state of wellness. And you say, okay, Bev, what's that mean? Well, here's what happens. Over time, you staying in that state of wellness all day, every day, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're experiencing, but you're in that mental state of wellness, eventually your body is going to get you into that state of wellness. Now, you still have to do the things, eat healthy, do the things you need to do in order to get into that state. You're going to help your body, but mentally, your mind controls your body, your gut. They have found that there are brain cells in the gut. That's why when you say, I had a gut feeling, you're not kidding. All right? But you want to be in that space. So, all things of Him from the creation of the world are clearly seen by the things that are made. This is Neville Goddard saying this. So when they come into your world, you can recognize your own harvest. You will bring it anyway. You're going to be unaware of what you've been doing, and you have exchanged your truth about God for a lie if you are not actively, this is me, actively moving into and being in that space that you want to be. Many of us do think unconsciously. For many years, I wasn't conscious of my power, my mental power. I knew that there were certain things that would happen to me if I did certain things, all right? Or things would come into my life and I'd have no explanation for them. But now I do, because I had moved from the place of lack to the place of abundance, or I moved from the place of ill health to the place of being healthy. I mentally moved. My vibration, the way I feel mentally was there first, and everything else followed. So let's talk about a few things. I want to read you some things from Neville. He says, if tonight you inherit a fortune, don't think that the one from whom it seemed to come was the cause. No. Preceding that event, you assumed wealth. That's what I love about that. Assuming wealth. I'm going to assume to be wealthy. The one that, what I want to say, gave the money, right? The one that passed, that allowed you to inherit that fortune, he was only the instrument, the actor playing his part in giving you the money. It could have come from a total stranger. You don't need a wealthy uncle, an aunt, grandfather. You don't. Because your own wonderful imagination will bring it to you. And this is how he tells the story. In my own family, my brother Victor befriended a man who at the end of his life left a very large sum of money to him. Victor had a consuming desire to have money, and he never had a divided mind. Now, I mentioned this in the last episode, so a divided mind is one foot on one side of the fence, on the other. The divided mind. I want to be wealthy, but I'm poor. I want to be wealthy, but I'm poor. I am wealthy. He wanted wealth more than anything and believed that money was power. He was tired of poverty and dreaming wealth. His world was populated with people bringing opportunities to make more and more money. Now, if Victor forgets his cause, or the cause, he will turn from the immortal God to an image resembling a man and claim that he was the cause of his fortune, which it is not so at all. So I say to everyone, you can be anything you want to be, but you cannot be double-minded, right? You can't. Let no one believe that having looked into the mirror turns away and forgets what he looks like, that he will receive anything from the Lord, for the double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So to me, that what he's saying here is that we have to stay on track, stay on course, right? Looked in the mirror, turns away and forgets what he looks like. No, we looked in the mirror of the future that we want. We looked into the mirror of wealth. Looked into the mirror of health. And when we turned away and went on about our life, we did not forget what that wealth or that health or that relationship or whatever it is that you desired looked like. Because if you do, it won't come into your life. I like this. Many a person will say they want something today. How many times have you done that? You've said you wanted something today, but forget about it a week later. I'm not speaking about some little magical thing where you can wave a wand and your desire will suddenly appear. This law is based upon a principle. Okay, so I'm going to read you what he says this principle is. If you want something, you can have it. But you must be willing to give up what you are now in order to be what you want to be. That is the only price that you pay. No sacrifice is required outside of giving up the state in which you find yourself and moving into the state where you want to be, for they are only states. Moving from the state of illness to the state of health, moving from the state of lack to abundance, from poor to wealthy, moving your emotional state, and watch what happens. Without motion, it is impossible to bring forth anything. Because when you go into that state, that mental state, that dream state, that, oh, I am rich beyond compare. I, when I, and it's not when I get that, it's like, oh, and I'm flying first class everywhere I go, and I've been wanting to go to Thailand. I got to go to Thailand. So, or I'm in Thailand, and I can think of being in Thailand and it being, what, 5,000 miles away or whatever it is. You move into that state where you want to be and remain there. You can go about your day, but you can pretend that you're in wherever. I can pretend I'm in Thailand, right? And Thailand has American stuff, right? Fast food places, whatever. But you move into that state because everything lives in an invisible world. It's formed in the invisible before it comes into the visible. So think of this. And I'm in the middle of doing this because I'm working on one specific thing. Do you know someone who would congratulate you if they heard the news about you? Who do you know that would congratulate you if they know you went from ill health to healthy? Or you went from lack to abundance, or from being poor to being wealthy, or even just being rich, right? Who do you know that would congratulate you? Well, bring that person into your mind and allow them to congratulate you. So it could be as simple as that. Bring them into your mind and hear them say, "Oh my goodness, congratulations. I heard that you look so good and your cheeks are so rosy and you are just looking magnificent and you've got a spring in your step." I'm going with health right here. You got a spring in your step and you're going, and you think about this person in your mind. You hear their voice, you see their face, you look at their enthusiasm the way they do enthusiasm, because the person might say, you're looking good today, aren't you? Yeah, boy, you're feeling much better. Well, congratulations. Totally different from the other one, but whatever this person, however they would react to hearing about what you're asking for, then that's what you want to do. The power of any imaginal act is in the implication. If this person is congratulating you on your wonderful, fantastic fortune, then you've already received it, right? You're hearing the congratulation, which means you've got it. We were talking the other day, so I give the advice, and I've given it the advice on this show, that if there's something you want, and you know what it is, you define it, everything, and then you say, there's something that's going to happen when you get what you want. There's something that's going to happen so that the universe, the ultimate I am, lets you know that the universe caused this to happen. And so you think of some kind of scenario or words like this person congratulating you. But that you could set it in such a way that that person congratulating you would say words that they wouldn't normally say. If they called you by a nickname and then you say in this wonderful imagination that I'm coming and they're congratulating me, but they called me by my full name. That's not something they would normally do, but when they did, you would know that infinite intelligence brought that to you. They're congratulating you on your good fortune, and you accept that congratulation as fact when you go from moving from one spot to another. You're getting that done. Do that, and you have subjectively appropriated your objective. You know, hoping that one day you'll receive your good fortune and congratulate you. You have gone ahead in time. You've gone forward. You have astro traveled. You have remote viewed your future. And you entered the state that allowed that person to congratulate you. So think about what you desire, what you want, and think about that you are the great I am, because you've been given that power. You've been given this little piece of God inside of you. And so when you say I am who I am, then you are attesting to the great and magnificent person that you are. So, think about what you want. Think about what you desire and when you desire it. And go into that meditative state and visualize that thing that you desire. I'm looking at health and wealth, relationships. What is it that you want? And be pretty detailed about what you want when you visualize it, and be in that state, just like being in the state of being in San Francisco when you're really in LA. You need that state. Essentially, it is astral travel, remote viewing, because you are viewing something that time-wise hadn't happened yet. Make some comments below. Hit the thumbs up, the bell to let you know when I've uploaded a new video for you. This particular set of Neville Goddard manifestings, manifesting Neville Goddard, will be in its own playlist called Neville Goddard. I might put manifesting up front. Okay. Thank you for being with me today, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening today. Please share the link to this show with your friends and family so that they can learn how to be the best that they can be. Visit my website at commandingyourlife.com and follow me on Facebook. Have any suggestions for the show? Just contact me by emailing Beverly at commandingyourlife.com. Be sure to join me on the next episode. As you have believed, let it be done to you, and it is so.